Oh my God, guys, I found the perfect cable management tool. So guys, this is going to trigger a lot of people. I know there's a lot of like Android fanboys, a lot of Windows fanboys, a lot of Apple sucks people. But just like maybe you, about a year ago, I was an Android fanboy. Like I did not want to get anything Apple. I thought Apple lovers were basically just eye sheep. They got what other people got. They were stupid and got what just worked because they couldn't figure out anything else and they just didn't know any better. But it all started changing about a year and a half ago when I got the iPhone 7 Plus. So that is this device right here. So the iPhone 7 Plus was my first Apple device since the original iPhone. I got the first iPhone. It didn't have picture messaging. It didn't have 3G, so I immediately just like tossed it aside. And then from there, like that was 2008. I didn't get a single Apple product until the iPhone 7 Plus came out. So the iPhone 7 Plus came out. I was also a YouTuber along the way. So what I was getting really frustrated with was editing on a Windows-based PC. I didn't need Adobe Premiere like Pro, so I got Adobe Premiere Elements. It was a decent video editing software, but very limited. As soon as I started to edit 4K video, especially 4K at 60 frames per second, that my Phantom 4 Pro does, it just froze, it just gave up, it would not work at all. I needed something easier, and I currently shoot on a Canon 80D, which is 1080p, so it worked just fine on my Windows-based PC. However, in the back of my mind, I thought, okay, if I ever upgrade to a 4K camera, I'm gonna have to buy a computer that can edit 4K, so that would just up the cost. So I kind of want to get like future-proof. I researched what the best computer is for editing, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find that an iMac or a MacBook Pro is really good. So what makes it so good is Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is so optimized for the hardware and for the software in the Mac ecosystem. It works so freaking good. What I love about Final Cut Pro, and this is, I'm honest, like to be honest, like as a YouTuber, Final Cut Pro is what really got me into the Apple ecosystem. Final Cut Pro is $300, a one-time fee. If you want Adobe Premiere Pro, like that whole suite, you pay monthly, like forever. So it's never yours. You're always just renting it from Adobe. Pretty good business model of theirs, don't you think? But once I bought my iMac, I bought Final Cut Pro day one. It was like a no-brainer. I had to get it. And once I got used to Final Cut Pro and the different features it offers, it has been amazing. Honestly, as an editor, I just kind of like chop, cut, paste, delete, slow down, speed up, stuff like that. Like I don't do fancy edits. I just started doing multicam editing. But Final Cut Pro is this software that it's so easy to use, but if you want to get more advanced, you can. You just Google it or YouTube it and you can figure it out. So why is Final Cut Pro so amazing? It's just a super simple, easy to use software, but it's super quick too. So like when you import video, you can edit the video as it's importing. It's really cool. It's just very, like everything is done in the background. Basically while you edit, everything renders in the background, and depending on the speed of your computer, you won't even notice it. It's just really magical, and unless you're trying to export a video file that hasn't even imported yet, then you're good to go and you won't even notice. To be honest, like keyboard shortcuts even freaked me out. I didn't know how to print screen. I didn't know how to lock the computer. I had to start Googling everything. It's just like, I felt like an old person learning a computer from scratch. Like, why is Command Shift for a screenshot? I have no idea. And there was no Control Alt Delete again. It's just like Control Shift Eject to lock the screen. So I've been using that keyboard shortcut a lot. Also, the NTFS file system in Windows is not compatible. So if you have like a flash drive or a hard drive you want to plug into your iMac, you have to download special software that is compatible. And for my thumbnails for YouTube, I use Adobe Premiere Elements. I just don't need anything too fancy. Like I don't need normal Photoshop. So what kind of sucked for me, I purchased Premiere Elements on Windows, but then I had to buy the same license again for macOS just because unless you buy a bundle, you're out of luck. So the initial like sticker shock was definitely quite a bit of money. for my like mid-range iMac. It's like a 2017 5K iMac, the 27-inch model. It's like a Core i5. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. It's like 3.6 gigahertz i5 processor. I'll put the spec somewhere so you guys can see it. I think it was like 2,300, and then with Apple Care like 26, with tax 28, and then with Final Cut Pro that's 300, and then the other software. So totally over $3,000 just for the computer and the software alone. Like, it was getting crazy, but I definitely saw the benefit. Like, I see it as an investment. I know like the iMac Pros came out, but for me and my editing like workflow, I do not need anything that crazy. This should last me quite a while. Hopefully it does. I really love it. I got it in September, so October, November, December, January. I've had it for 4 months now, and honestly it feels like a lot longer just because it's kind of intermingled with my life so well. So after that, I got the iPhone 10. I did have the iPhone 7 Plus, but then the iPhone 10 came out. I was using like the Galaxy S8. So once the iPhone 10 came out, that was the first time I had an iPhone and an iMac. I didn't really understand what people meant when they say like Apple products work together so seamlessly, but I kind of understood it pretty quickly. So if you have Wi-Fi on one of your devices or a Bluetooth pair of headphones on one of your devices, they just show up. So if you have Wi-Fi on your iMac, it will work on your phone. If you have Wi-Fi on your iPad, it shows up on your phone, vice versa. Everything just intermingles. Also, AirDrop is magical. So you can take a picture or a video, and there's a feature called AirDrop where you can send it to any Mac-related software or hardware in the area. So I can take a video with my phone and then AirDrop it to my computer and edit it like super quick. So if you have an iPhone and you vlog with it, or you use an iPhone for just like B-roll, you can AirDrop it right there. Also, the way stuff intermingles really easily, I love the Notes app. So I will use my iPad Pro and my Apple Pencil. I'll take notes in the Notes app. It will show up on my iPhone or my iMac, even the handwritten notes with the Apple Pencil, and it looks really good because all the displays, are very crisp. So it just looks like handwriting on all my devices. So what I typically do, I originally bought the iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil for school, so I'll take notes like over PDFs and stuff, which in itself is really cool because I don't have to print paper and kill trees. I can have everything saved here. However, when school's not in session, and I do graduate this year, what I typically will see myself using this for is taking notes for YouTube. So like if I'm reviewing a product, I will make notes with this, and if I'm out and about, I'll just make notes on my Notes app on my phone, and it'll show up here in my computer all at the same time, so that's super cool. And it's also important to note that you have the ability to subscribe to different iCloud tiers. So when you first get an iPhone and you start taking pictures, you'll notice that you get 5 gigabytes for free. But then if you pay like $1 a month, you can get 50 gigs, and if you pay like $2.99, you get 200 gigs. So I'm subscribed to the 200 gig subscription. So basically, every single picture I take is being backed up to the cloud. I can sync all of that stuff together on all my devices. If anything gets damaged or stolen, it's all just there. And as a tech reviewer, like I'm definitely going to be going back and forth between devices. So in the event that like I sell my iPhone 10 and forget to back up my stuff, it's still in the cloud. Even though I may not be using Apple device like at the exact very moment, I at least know that the stuff I did take on my Apple device is there. In my iPhone 10, I've never gotten a smartphone with so much storage space in it. I opted for the 256 variant because what I wanted to do was force myself to use this iPhone 10 as my daily driver, at least until like the Galaxy S9 came out. And it is a lot of freaking space. I thought by now I would have used up a lot more space, but really I haven't. There's so much space, it would easily last me for 2 years. Like if you don't want to use iCloud, you don't have to because there is so much space. And when I got my first iPhone, it was very annoying because it had the stupid proprietary cable, the lightning connector. But as you can see, like once you start getting Apple devices, you'll start collecting them. So I have like 4 in my office, I have 1 in my car, I have 1 at work. And as much as I would love for Apple to switch to USB Type-C, just because now if Apple did USB Type-C, everything would be compatible. But as I'm kind of intermingled in the Mac OS and the iPhone OS, just think of every Apple product that there is, they all come with a cable, like even the keyboard and stuff. So I have a ton of them. So no worries there. Other than the sketchy charging method that the Apple Pencil uses, I'm pretty happy with everything. And I almost forget to even mention this because I forget I wear it. But the Apple Watch, I have it on, I wear it every day, and I probably am one of the worst people to ask about like what this device can do, because really all I use it for, I use it to keep track of steps, and I also use it just for simple notifications. So if I'm away from my phone, I'll have this on, and if I'm like expecting any important calls, I don't have to like be on my phone all the time. But ultimately, like probably 99% of the use of this is just an activity tracker. But I really do love the look of the device, and I do like that it is water resistant. So I even took this thing like into the ocean one time when I went snorkeling, and it was perfectly fine. Okay, so probably my most recent purchase, and it was kind of out of the blue, but I did get some AirPods. They were on sale for Black Friday. I think I got like them $50 off, or I got $50 Kohl's cash. But what I love about these AirPods is that the case charges them, and they fit very nicely for me. Like you just put them in your left and right ear, and they do have touch controls, and if you're playing music and you want to stop it for whatever reason, you just take one out and it stops playing. But ultimately what I really like is that they're so compact, so you can just basically keep this in your pocket. Like if you can fit floss in your pocket, you can fit these in your pocket. So now that you have these, it's like you have headphones in more places that you may not have thought. You know, so now if you're at the doctor's office, or if you're just laying in bed, or you're on your lunch break, 9 times out of 10 you probably didn't have headphones. But now that these are so small and you can just kind of keep in your pocket with your keys, it's super amazing. And the fact that the case is the charger, and the case can be charged and the earpods can be charged. So you're always going to have juice one way or the other. So that's just really nifty. $169.99 though, like, is that worth it? That's kind of the question with all the Apple products, but you know, ultimately it's just about the user experience, and I really do think it's worth it. I did mention before, Airdrop is amazing. So what you may not know is that camera right there, I'm recording with my iPhone 10. So it's probably been recording for over 10 minutes now. Now let's airdrop it to my computer. It is going pretty quickly, honestly. Like, this is wireless, as you obviously can tell, and it is going to my iMac. Coming from Android in the past, like, Android group notifications beautifully. If you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and you're like a social media person like me, you'll get so many freaking notifications. It gets to the point where, like on Android, it groups it together. So if you have 4 like social media profiles, you only have 4 lines of notifications being filled up. With iOS, every single individual notification is a separate line. So if you post something on Twitter or Instagram and get likes, you could have like 100 notifications for one freaking thing. So what I did, which sucks, I basically turned notifications off for everything on my iPhone. The only thing I get notifications for are like iMessage and Facebook Messenger, and of course I allow phone calls to come in. But there has been times where I have missed important messages because of the other notifications clogging up my phone. So until Apple can fix that and fix grouping notifications, I'm just going to do it this way. Honestly, it kind of feels like a workaround, but you don't need to be notified every time someone likes something of yours on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Like, I've personally allowed that to be freeing to me, and I'll just check the social media accounts when I want to, not when my phone tells me I should. I'm complaining. I'll continue it for a second. So the Magic Mouse that comes with the iMac is trash. Sometimes Apple makes things so slim and compact that they're not ergonomic. This is the most uncomfortable thing to carry and hold in your hand. For long, like gaming or editing or just computer browsing sessions, the MX Master Mouse is the way to go. It's a lot more comfortable and it just kind of conforms to your hand. This piece of crap, it does not do anything. And look where you charge it. You charge the mouse on the bottom. Look where the MX Master Mouse charges. On the freaking front. So if you want to charge this thing, you have to plug it into the bottom. If you plug it into the bottom, it is useless. This mouse is uncomfortable and useless. It gets my rating of 0 out of 10. But other than just a few little issues here or there, I really am happy with my decision to just kind of switch to the Apple ecosystem. I'm still a tech reviewer, so like when the next Android device comes out, like the Galaxy S9, I'm definitely going to get it. I'm going to take my SIM card out of the iPhone 10 and move to the Galaxy, S9 or whatever. But as my computer, I'm still going to be using the Mac. YouTube is such a big part of my life that I don't have the time to deal with the headache that Windows brought me. On Twitter, I'll see people constantly complaining about like errors and editing problems. And most of the time, it's because they have a Windows computer. And then I'll see that they'll, buy a new computer, like better, but that doesn't solve the inherent problem that if you want to edit video, Mac is like the way to go. And it's crazy that just for editing video and just for YouTube convinced me to change to this whole different setup, this whole different ecosystem. If we include the iMac, the iPhone, the iPad Pro, the AirPods, the Apple Watch, like it's definitely over $5,000. But it was a crazy cool experiment to try. And this wasn't like something I intended to do. It just kind of happened. Once you get one Apple product, you kind of get addicted and you get used to that craze. The unboxing experience with all of the Apple products is very fun. It's something that you have to experience yourself. It's not something that you could just be told. Once you kind of get used to the Apple ecosystem, it's pretty magical once you get that new product. And there we go, guys. If you enjoyed the video, be sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. If you're already subscribed, just give me a thumbs up. That will help me get more subscribers in the future. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Every one of you means so much to me. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this whole video. Are you triggered or intrigued? I'm curious. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.